Hello, my name is Paweł. Today I will tell you about how to go better. One question: who can code in Go? Please raise your hand. Who can code on mobile? Please raise your second hand. So not many people raised two hands, but I hope that after this presentation, this will change. So let's start. Currently, I'm working at Zapmeet. It's a Norwegian startup. We are making social planning app, and we have some problems, and we've tried to solve them. And I will tell you how it worked and how was the outcome of that. So our app, as I said, is Zapmeet. It's on the mobile side. It's written natively in Kotlin and Swift. The whole idea of the app is that it's really fast. It's in the real time. Our backend is written in Node.js because it's mostly fast I/O. Maybe in future in Go. Currently, half of our team is very into Go. You can see half of our team right now. So you can change it. And as I said, it must be fast. So we've got two code bases, one in Kotlin, one in Swift. And what are the problems? One of the problems is that we need to code our business logic twice. And it's not so easy because if you go very far away and look on code on Kotlin and on the Swift, it looks practically the same, but it's really different. And that's a problem. iOS and Android don't work the same way. And also on Android, there is a problem with 500 different devices with different screens, with different resolutions. And this is really error prone. Also, the problem is that there is 2 times more code to optimize. So, for example, if you have some problems with optimization on Swift, you would probably have different problem on Android. And it's really hard to fix them because first you need to find them, after that replicate them, and this whole problem is bigger and bigger. And also, right now we are living in time of agile, so everyone wants to build an agile team where everybody can do everything. So it's really hard to build cross-functional team if you have 2 different platforms and the third one on the back end. So, possible cross-platform solutions. First thing, probably, our first thought was React Native. But as I said, our app must be fast and must work in real time. And React with its architecture, where you have bridge between layer of JavaScript and native layer, it's really slowing it down. Also, the problem with React Native, okay, you can very easily write an app, but it won't look native. So a lot of people, I think it's really common with iOS users, that they can easily spot on that something is weird, something is different. And also, on Android, you can easily find the buttons, like a back button on the top left corner, which was taken from iOS because they don't have back button. Other idea was a Flutter. It is fairly new, made by Google. However, as I said, it's new. It's not tested, and we want to really error-proof app. And the Flutter, it's not sure. We don't know if we get this. Also, Flutter gives us another cool thing that we can very quickly iterate. So we can write code fast and reiterate. However, there is no Flutter dev right here, probably in the Krakow. So it would be very hard. After that, we also have Ionic and Cordova, but who uses Ionic and Cordova right now? So it was obvious no. Also, there is Xamarin, but probably then everybody will be grumpy because it would be good to rewrite our backend also to .NET Core, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to burn money. There is also a solution in Kotlin native, but it's, as I said, it's quite similar like in Flutter. It's fairly new. We don't know how it works on iOS, and we didn't want it. Also, there is an option in C++ called Common Components, but the problem with C++ is the language itself. It's really hard. It's really hard to get in, and also if you do mess up something in C++, you can really easily hurt yourself. So here comes Go. Why Go? As I said, I'm a huge fan of Go. Started right here in GoCracow. And the idea is that everybody who already is programming can really easily learn Go. So even our team, there is no Go developer besides of me. There's a high chance that really quickly others will get into the coding. So we can create in Go libraries. Thanks to Go bind, we can build a static and shared libraries for mobile devices, and thanks to that, we can also call Java code and Objective-C code in Go. I will show you later how to do that. And it's quite great. However, there is some caveats that we need to talk about. So Go bind, as I said, it's really helpful. It helps you to generate code in other languages. Probably Marcin will tell you better about it because it's really close to CGO. And thanks to Go bind, we can, as I said, we can generate code, and it will be very useful because we can generate Java code, Objective-C code from the same Go code. And there's a problem because with Go, it's currently supports a subset of Go types. For example, there is a problem with maps and slices. However, you can bypass that only by creating wrappers. So other languages can iterate on the map objects and slice object, or you can just put everything into JSON string and return JSON string. So how the bindings, what the code it creates. As you can see, it's quite simple function, and it returns two things: string and error. The problem with Go bind is that if you try to return more function than two, there will be problem. You can don't return anything, return one thing, or return one thing and error. Also, the Go bind creates Java and Objective-C code. As you can see in Java, it's pretty obvious. In Objective-C, it's less obvious. However, I never code in Objective-C, so I don't know does it look like that always, or no, I don't know. So with the structs, in Go, everybody probably is using structs. So how to change them into Java or Objective-C code? It's pretty easy. Make a class. So go get it and go create a class. We can then create object of it, and we've got public. The problem is also that every function, every property is public. So we need to remember about that. It's still machine-generated code. It's not so smart. And that's how it looks in Objective-C. Probably it looks like that. And as I said, we can call Java and Objective-C functions inside of Go. Why it might be useful? Probably you will want to, as I said before, you want to have that native look. So now you can call the native Java and native Objective-C components to draw them on the screen. So it's probably much easier. However, there is some problems because of that. Because as we know, Go has own garbage collector, and Java has own other garbage collector. And there is always problem in communication. Also, there is a problem with communication between languages. It gives you a big overhead, like 100 milliseconds. So, also, after generating code in Java to create a library, we need to find correct NDK to cross-compile. After that, we need to copy all the files, assets files. And as I said before, not all the types are supported. So we need to be very careful. It's not automated at all. We need to remember that if we return slices and maps, we need to somehow wrap it. So there is a Go mobile. I didn't find many packages that have that picture. with Gopher are doing experiments. The Go mobile is existing from 2014. It was created by Brian Kershaw in Go. And now I will tell you a little bit about it. It's great because it makes all the process with the Go mobile much simpler. So this is how to get it. And you can probably start working with Go mobile. So do I only need Go? Unfortunately not. For Android, creating apps in Android, you probably will need also an Android Studio and download all the NDK and tools. And the problem also is that we want to use Go because it allows us to quickly iterate because we can compile code really fast. And that's not the case with the Go mobile. As you can see, there is hello.aar, that's a library, and our sources in .jar. Let's see how it looks inside. And as you can see, there are gen and I files, and those are the Go files. And those are all the libraries that Go added to our package, so it can run. Also, there is a classes jar, which is our file, and Android manifest, which is necessary to connect our library with Android app. So there is a project which I found today, and but it's worth to tell you about it. It's called Android Go, and the main idea of Android Go is that they want to add another layer of abstraction between Go library and Android, so it can communicate much easier. However, I wouldn't recommend that Android Go because the last update was made like a year ago, so I don't know if anyone is doing anything with it. So it's probably not recommended to use it. So Go mobile app is, you can use full power of Go in mobile application. So if you create a Go application with Go routines, channels, everything, you can use it on mobile phone. So you can have a really lightweight library which doesn't use a lot of memory, don't use a lot of processing power, and it's really powerful. Also, as I said before, you can call those Java and Objective-C from Go mobile bind, but you need to remember that about namespaces. So you don't create or on your Go mobile library any function which is the name the same as Java or Objective-C function, because it will create errors. And .apk, you can create app from only Go. So you can create whole application in Go and make .apk from that and use it on Android. However, there is also other problem. I will tell you about it later. So what is the difference? So Go bind create a library. There is communication only in Go, and Java and Objective-C is responsible for creating our UI. So we can have like native experience on UI and whole Go application on the backend. With Go build, you can create whole application in Go. However, then you need to remember that you are creating all the layers which are responsible for your UI. So you are using something like OpenGL, and you need to create everything by your own, and it will probably don't look native. However, for example, if you want to make a game, it might be a good idea, because then everything is made by you. So is anybody using it? There is a company called Zenly, and as I found out, 60% of their mobile code base is made in Go. And this is production app. You can download it from Play Store and Apple Store. And also there is an app called Ivy. Anyone use Ivy on Go? Ivy is like a calculator, but really advanced. It can add vector matrices, can count on irrational numbers, and also can, as you can see, it can count huge numbers. How the app was created? Rob Pike created that calculator called Ivy, and Anna Lee created Ivy for Android, and she says on her talk about Go Mobile that it took her only 2 hours to convert that Ivy calculator into Android app, thanks to Go Mobile. Also, there is an iOS app. However, I don't know how much it takes to create it. And this GIF shows you both application and terminal. Ivy in terminal does all of them works the same. So Go Mobile sounds great, but in reality, it's not so great. Because, for example, the library which we are creating includes all architecture binaries. And it's a problem because that file is increasing in size, and we don't want that, because after that, when we use Gradle, which builds an app for Android, it's getting really slow. And our reiteration process is already slower. Go binaries are statically linked, which also gives us bigger size of the file. Problems with communication with sensors. For example, there is a problem with gyroscope, with like light sensor and things like that. Because if we want to use them, we need to write our connection in Go, because there is no library which allows us to do that. And as I said before, communication between languages is really expensive. It's about, to communicate between Go and Java, it's about 100 milliseconds of overhead. However, you can do things like communicate through database in mobile. So your Go library is communicating with DB, and your mobile front end, let's call it, communicates from the other side with the DB. And for iOS, you need to disable bytecode in product build settings. It's not a problem right now, but if Apple changed that, your library is useless. And also, as I said before, problems with nil. It's exec bad access. It's good practice to not return nil, even as a parameter, especially second. For example, if we return error or nil, it's not so good to do that with Go Mobile, because after that, we can see that error exec bad access, and it's better to create interface on that nil and return that interface. So how Go Mobile can help you? For example, if you have already a backend built in Go, and you want to move part of business logic to mobile, or just want to hack some things, it's a good idea, because you can quickly have a deployable library which can be easily used from Java. Another idea is testing logic cross-platform, because then we don't care about size of the file, because we are running only tests on that thanks to that library, and we are connecting only to check if our assertions are met. Also, creating performant mobile libraries with benefit of coroutines. As I said before, the best advantages of the Go Mobile is that we have all the features from Go. So, as I said, we have a really powerful language inside mobile app. I did for fun experiment, and I ran a WebSocket server on my mobile phone, and it worked. So you can do everything. And as I said before, creating UI-independent cross-platform app games, because then you don't need to care about native look of the app. So do you have any questions?
Speaking of fun, did you try creating user interfaces with Go? Maybe OpenGL or something else cute?
Yes, but it was like putting a picture which was running on the screen, and it wasn't fun.
All right. All right, thanks.
Okay.
So basically those files that you generate, wait when you run this Go command, you have to manually link them to your iOS and Android projects, right? Is there any mechanism
You are
for that?
talking about Go mobile bind, or no? You only create a library and you just copy and paste it, and that's all. Okay.
Okay, I have a question. Do you know differences between Java garbage collector and Go garbage collector?
They work pretty the same, but the problem is that if you create objects in Go, which are later used in Java code, there is map of pointers between those two languages. So you really need to be careful on that, because if you also use Java code inside Go, you can have circular dependency, and those objects will be never freed. Or remember to, for example, destroy objects, because then they will be deleted on the both Go and Java. Okay, thank you.